property rights, and entrepreneurship. The goal of the committee is to actively promote a positive culture, to build a startup ecosystem, and encourage innovation. Now, I would like to invite our principal, ma'am, Dr. Munira Momin, to enlighten us with a few words. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Yasin, and thank you entire BNCP IIC team. And thank you, Varsha madam and Roshali. We have been designing various programs, and I know in that designing, your role plays an important role, your inputs and your thought process. So it's important in IIC, innovation in thought process must also be there. We don't want to do me too kind of activities, and this is what I see when Sandeep comes up with some program outline. And I what one thing I notice is it's not a kind of a me too type of program. So there is an innovation into program content also. So I'm sure you have your efforts put in while discussing with Sandeep for the next program. And I also see one, I noted that the sequence of program which are being designed, they are also like in sync with each other. And that's kind of a ladder one after another going at a higher level of thought process, higher level of training. And we rightly discussed into 0 hour that it's a designing of thought process, it's a designing of mind setup. So that's required to be an entrepreneur. It is not that you need those extra two horns that okay, this is an entrepreneur. It's a thought process. It's the way you look at the thing. It's the way you look at the opportunity. So that thought process is important. So thank you entire IIC as well as Varsha madam and her team for identifying various topics for our students. And it's a slow but a steady journey, which I'm sure that slowly we will see more and more students coming up with their entrepreneurial mindset. Not today, but tomorrow, they will think in a different direction and they will look at some of the opportunity as a business opportunity. And that's where we as an institute would be more than happy when we create job giver and not job seeker. So thank you very much, students. I request all of you to practice things which have been discussed on your own, discuss among yourself, train your mind, train your thought process. And I want more and more students joining. So Sandeep sir, see that we don't restrict it to those students who have enrolled. I suggest you to open it for all, because sometimes it's just the spark which is required, and sometimes it is just the 1 minute, one meeting or one thought or one discussion would open up their mind, and that's the spark which requires for them. So I suggest you to open it for all. Let the first year to final year and all informed students take part into the activity. All
Yes,
right.
madam, sure.
So with this, thank you once again, and over to you, Yasin.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for your precious word of wisdom. And now I would like to start with Accelerators Incubation Opportunities for Student and Faculties Early Stage Entrepreneur, and express gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Ms. Varsha Shah, who has accepted our invitation to preside over this workshop. Ms. Varsha Shah is a life strategist, entrepreneur, and behavioral expert. She delivers leadership training to students in school and colleges, as well as structured workshops that instill a progressive mentality in every learner. She has spent more than a decade working to apply 21st century progressive educational practices and has worked as a teacher trainer in school, conducting workshops for over 8,000 parents and 350 teachers. She is a master franchisor of international speech and drama program Helen O'Grady International. So without any further ado, let's begin with the workshop. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Yasin. Yasin, I'll be sharing my screen. So, is my
Yes,
screen
ma'am.
visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Yasin. Good evening, everyone, and as we discussed, the topic for today is Accelerators Incubation Opportunities, Early Stage Entrepreneurship. This is students and for faculties. So before we go ahead, I want to put across a question to you all. Who is an entrepreneur? Who is an entrepreneur? I would request you all to make the workshop interactive. So at least one or two students on behalf of the community can speak up. Who is an entrepreneur? Is my question audible? Yasin?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
students,
anyone?
let us reflect on madam's questions. According
Any
to you,
question? No, there's nothing right or wrong. Just answer. Who's an entrepreneur?
An individual who creates a new business.
Okay, an individual who creates new business. New business. Okay. Yeah. Who else? Any one more answer, please? One more. I would take one more input, please.
Risk of something like he takes the risk and उसके मतलब उसके डिसीजन पे रहता है और वो खिलाफ like he pushes himself, he trusts his follows his idea and make
Okay.
that true.
ठीक है, मतलब वो अपने रिस्क पे अपनी आइडिया को पुश करता है. Am I right? He takes
Yeah,
a
ma'am.
risk and he pushes an idea. That's what you are saying, right? May I know your name, please?
Hardik, ma'am. Hardik.
Hardik. Sorry, yeah, because I'm sharing the screen, I'm not able to see everyone's names. Hardik. And the lady who answered, may I know your name, please?
Anushka.
Anushka. Okay. Thank you, Hardik and Anushka. See, Anushka says somebody who brings in a new business is an entrepreneur, and Hardik says somebody who takes risk and pushes persistently towards it is an entrepreneur. So I would start my session with a video. Let me see if it plays here, or I'll play it from YouTube. Okay. Is the video visible?
no, madam, you have to click on that link.
You're not able to see it?
No.
Okay, one moment. One moment. I'll just stop this
Varsha
sharing.
madam, you come out of presentation mode.
Yeah,
And then you click. Yeah, that might work.
That's what I'm doing. Where's my presentation? Is my presentation stopped or still there? I stopped it. It stopped,
No,
right?
do one thing, madam. Whatever that YouTube video is there, na, just
Yeah.
make it on.
Yeah.
Share your presentation, and again share this particular video.
Yeah, done. I stopped sharing this.
Just and whatever YouTube link is there.
Got it. I actually thought I'll play it from the link, but it's not playing. 1 second. Have it, I think. Yeah, Sir is playing it. I will be narrating certain things while the video is on, but so that you can connect, okay?
1 minute, madam.
हाँ sir. I'm a little unfamiliar with Teams, sir, so I thought it will play. And
now its screen is visible.
Yeah, sir.
Yes.
Is it audible now?
Not audible, sir, but you can just make the screen bigger, sir. I will narrate, no problem.
Okay.
So just enlarge the screen, and if the audio plays, no problem. If it plays, is good. Okay, see them now. If you see, there's a scene here where there is a tree which was falling on the road, and everybody is passing by from there. We see all grown-ups. We see this student. We also saw a politician. There are so many youngsters in the bus. Everybody is occupied. Now this wife says, he said, what can I do? Now this person is just crossing over and going. He is somebody who has power. Okay, these are again powerful people, the police persons. Now this is a small frail child, doesn't know what to do, but he now thinks, as Yasin said, thinks differently. Now if you look at the hurdle, looks very big, doesn't seem that he will be able to do anything about it. But see, now he's crazy, he's mad, he's convinced about his thought, he's not worried who's going to say what. And look, all crazy, other crazy people like him connect with him, the partners. Okay, they connect with him. Now look at them. Now once they have made a team, others come in, and you see now the youngsters came in, and then comes the next generation, the seniors. So if you see, one after the other, now this person who never saw a possibility sees a possibility, he also comes there and he starts pushing. This is a very nice ad of Lead India. And if you see, it's just started with that one small child thinking he can do it. He had self-belief. He created possibility. He took the risk of people will laugh at him. Nothing will happen. He just took a risk. And he moved to a direction where nobody else was moving. He created a path. He created a solution. His solution contributed to such a big, group of people. So that's Lead India. And this ad has been a very motivational ad for entrepreneurs. Okay, so I would now take it from the presentation that I made for you all.
Yes, very wonderful video.
Yeah, because everybody who takes an initiative is an entrepreneur. Okay,
Yes.
he takes an initiative, he or she. When I say he, please understand it's just the way we speak, but it's she as well. It's the one who takes the initiative. So when we are talking about early stage entrepreneurship, it's very important that we very clearly understand the entrepreneur in us. Who is an entrepreneur? So its first question you have to answer is it you? Who is the entrepreneur? Who? In that ad, it was the child, the student, an entrepreneur. He wanted to do something. What was he wanting to do? Who is the initiative taker? What is the initiative taker wanting to do? How will the initiative taker do it? When does the initiative taker want to do it? And where? Which location? Is it going to be something local, a problem that you're going to solve local? Is it a problem that you're going to solve global? How big is the problem and how big is your solution going to be? So that is an entrepreneur. Who is it? It's you. What are you planning to do? Here in this case, since we all are discussing it, who gets answered? It's the students whom we are speaking to now. What is that one solution you are planning to get? How are you planning to get the solution? When are you planning to get the solution? And where is your solution going to work? Yeah, so that is what I would say is the first key to understand what is entrepreneurship to begin with. Yeah, so Anushka, Hardik, Yasin and other students, are these 5 points clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so first thing you have to do is to know entrepreneurship, understand yourself. Understand yourself. Now, how do you do that? We'll go forward. Because when we go for a venture capitalist, it's very important your what is very clear, how is very clear, when is very clear, where is very clear. A venture capitalist, any investor will not entertain anything that is ambiguous. Okay, now next is customer driven. Now this student in that ad saw the whole audience there and they were their customers. He wanted to bring solution there. He researched. If you saw, he researched. Do you think he took a stupid decision? Anyone thinks he was stupid? Don't go by his age and motivation. Just think practical. Was he stupid? Anybody thinks? Somebody please answer on behalf. I like to get answers. And we will enjoy seeing you in the classroom. But right now, do you think anyone who thinks he was stupid?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, because Why am I asking you continuously? Because look at him. When he got down, he knew there are people around him. He knew there are stronger people around him. He knew somebody will partner with him. He knew. He just wanted to initiate. He thought of initiating it. So that self-belief was something which made him research. Now look at it from a research, from an entrepreneurship perspective. You research first. Okay? Because unless and until you research, you are not going to redefine it. Because a market, the text in blue very clearly says market change, tastes change. So the companies will, and the individuals, the N is missing, the companies and the individuals who choose to compete in those market must change. So redefining is defined here. You have to first research on the market, the customer that you want to bring a solution to. Everybody cannot be your customer. There is a specific customer you are catering to. Like when you come to the pharmacy college, you are those specific students who want to learn it. So we are catering to you. Similarly, when you are catering to somebody, you should know what is that niche that you want to work on. The research here is very important. Redefining what is that change you're bringing, because everybody is going to give something to the market. What is that you're going to stand as different? And realization that you have the capacities and you are there to bring the change. You want to create it. And the first 5 questions which I put together, those are your answers before you enter the market. Today we are not going into much definitions of market designing. So I am just briefing you. These are the points which have to be very clear, that what is that one solution I want to bring to the market. Now, the market opportunities, you have to determine it very clearly. Now we are talking step by step how you approach an investor. So first, the child showed you that you have to initiate. Then the next slide showed you that you have to know very clear what solution you want to bring, when you want to bring, how you want to bring, where you want to bring. The third said you have to research on your customer, you have to redefine, and you have to be very, very clear on your analyzation. Okay, now I come to the market opportunities. Size of the total market that you wish to cater to. Which is your market? What is the size of the market? Research. Very important. You have to understand. And when I say understanding, you should not go with any Google data. You have to research. When you research, you have to research through interviews. You have to research through meeting people. You have to understand what are the different products available in the same category in the market. In fact, last time when I had taken a session for you for the hero's journey, I had told you, right, find out the different brands. What are they doing and what are you giving differently from those brands? What is not in that brand that your brand can give? So you have to understand the competition very well there, and ability to grow or create the market. You should also know, let's say, like if you are launching a product and the product is giving you good growth, then do you have the ability in you or in your infrastructure? Do you have you seen the scope? Do you know that if you get a very good response, will you be able to cater to it? So that is also something that you have to very clearly determine. Write it down, work on it. Okay, because when business can meet an unsatisfied customer need before its competitors, that is where you define a business opportunity in the market. When your business is meeting the unsatisfied customer, and that too before your competitor meets it. So if let's say any company is selling face powder and everybody is using that face powder, it has the fragrance, it has the texture, it has everything, but then it is like that, one brand which is specific, not specific, it is general for men and women both. So men and women both are using the same powder, face powder. Now if you only brand the bottle differently, saying this is for ladies or this is for gents, this is for male members, it automatically the niche changes. The talcum powder with a little change gives you two different niches to work on. So, and that too, maybe ladies are unsatisfied with this general face powder. Now they get something that is exclusively for them. They will use it. That is exactly how the Activa in two-wheelers took the market. Okay, and also if you see the recent ads, they are also showing that, if you want to go backwards in those Activa type of a two-wheeler, then it has the auto button to move out behind, and that immediately appeals to the ladies. So that creates that niche. So the business is meeting the unsatisfied customers need before the competitor meets. That is where you see an opportunity. So an opportunity has to be seeked. The student in the ad seeked an opportunity. He went for it. He was not scared. He took risk. The way this one Hardik mentioned it, he took a risk and he pushed it. Okay, so that is where you determine the market opportunities. Market opportunities will not happen to you. You have to make it happen. Okay, and for that research is key. Understanding your market is a key. Now we go to the next. We go to partners and channels. Okay. Now, since we are talking about today that we want to make our venture big, we now are like at this session, we are thinking that you already know what venture you would want to do, or you would have researched, or you should start researching. Now you should understand, when I have a product, who will who will help me to make this product a reality. I have created something. Now we can just say, like, if you are ready with the product, and the product now you want to take it to the market, so who is that person? So it's all about people. It's all about networking and being nice to people and not burning any bridges. Why would I say this? Let's say a homemaker. Let's say a homemaker. Okay, she or he, whoever the homemaker is, prepares a very good recipe, some dish, expert. Now these people have a very good network. Maybe they have their kitty parties, or they will have their neighboring network, or they will have some Ganpati Utsav or something. Now let's say for instance, this lady will change the product. It's a modak. Okay, now since Ganesh festival comes, it's a modak. Now this lady knows, or this man knows, how to make good modaks. Now he has network, or she has networking in people, and there is Ganpati Utsav coming. Now what can they do? They can start providing this to families. They start providing this to families. So they start sampling it. That is what we can call it. Now these people who take it from them automatically become their partners. There are different types of partners who can come into your business. Okay. Now there are three types which I specifically noted that I should tell you. There will be one type who would buy it from you. Like, if this modak, that modak can be changed with any of your product, and the customer can be any of your customers which works or is available in your network. This person is who volunteers to take your product. So this is like, if the modak is to be given, the neighbor will say, okay, you give me 1 dozen, and then she or the neighbor, he or she tries it, they like it, then they tell other people, oh, I have taken from them, and they are volunteering to help. Okay, we take the product and we take it out. The next person could be, the person can be say, I will take some 10 dozens from you, and I will go and put it in my hotel, and I will sell there. I will give you your amount and I will make money on that. So that is a second network also which can work. And a third person can be, let me create a project out of this. So this person can say, people who are taking modaks from us, the money, a little share from that can go for charity, and they can provide it likewise. So now these are three different types of people who can get involved with your product immediately if you have a network. The first network normally young entrepreneurs will have is family network. Second network they can move is the neighborhood network. Third network they can move is to the clubs in the society where they are connected with. And fourth network, then from there is where businesses get approached to. Yeah. Any questions till here? Any questions till here? I'm sorry, I can't see myself. So meetings, and if you don't speak, I will feel I'm speaking alone.
Yeah, we have
Oh,
kept one question answer round, madam, towards the end of session,
Okay, sir.
so that
Okay,
we can save time as well. So that was the
okay.
purpose.
Yeah, this, but till here with me,
Yeah.
everyone. Am I going very fast?
In between, you can take the reflection. No issue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anything till here, because if anything here, then I can go slow, fast. Is it good to go this speed? Students, one reply, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks. So now I can also say partners. Now, who are your partners? Partners are the people who will help you turn your ideas into solutions. Your idea, like you say, this is my idea. I have created a cream, a body lotion. Now you have created it. Now you tell your people, the partners. You can be your friends, families, neighbors. As I said, I have created this, or I have made a organic soap. I want to try it, and they will take it from you. Those are your first partners. And channels are people who will make you go to your target audience, who will help you go to your target audience. Like the soap or the body lotion, if some parlors decide to keep it with their business and they say we'll sell it from here, that can be your initial channels. They are not your long-term channels, but they can be your initial channels, where the testing for the product and reviews and inputs from people can be gathered. Very, very important, because unless and until you have good testimonials for on your product, it's difficult to get investors here. So you have to start with partners, channels. So whatever your product is, it has to be executed. If it's a machinery, if it's something that you're creating on a model, then you have to go through small I can say organizations or offices where you think this can provide a solution, and start working there. There also your network will help. Then I go next. Next you should have is a cost structure, expenses. So now, to determine, how do you determine your expenses, revenues for the product that does not exist? Your product does not exist, right? You're creating it. It's not still there. So how do you create that? First is completely define what is the expense that you will have to do on this product. You have to define, like as I was saying, if you're taking a small organic soap or a lotion, then whatever quantity you're making, write down the expenses. What is the expense you incurred on creating this? Okay, that is how much money you had to put into it. After the expenses are defined, you will have to sell it at X profit, right? So you have to define the profit. When you define the profit, then whatever revenue comes in, expense plus profit, you sell it and you have a revenue from where you take your profit and again gets back to the expense kitty. So that you have to first work it out very clearly. You work it out. So if you work it out for say 10 samples, then you know if you multiply it, how much will it be if you want to increase the quantity of your product. So when you're going to the partners, when you're going first time to your neighbors, you may go for free. If you go to the nearby, I'm considering only 2-3 examples, but you can consider it with whatever product you are planning, what is the solution you are planning to get, whom are you going first. First sampling may happen free. Second sampling, obviously you will not be able to afford freely. So if somebody's liked it and says, okay, give me one more sample, give me one more sample, it will be difficult for you to sustain. Hence, you have to write down how much expenses, what is the price point you will give it to this person, and what is the profit you want to take. If you don't want to, if you're not confident of the profit in the initial stages, make it minimalistic, put it together, but you plus with something on the expense, and then you give it to the person. Some profit is very motivating. Do not sell it for free. First sampling is okay. So you have to be very clear here. Prototype. Now that small soap or the lotion that you have made is your prototype. It's an early release of the product. Okay, so first time when you make it, you're going to first do all the sampling. You have to create a sample, you'll work on it, test it on yourself, test it in your family. Something will go wrong, you will improvise, again you will work on it, and finally the product that comes out and you're confident that you bring it to your neighbors and out, that is where it goes out to the market. But the first time is prototyping. So when you are doing a product, and all these steps are the steps which you have to define. So if you are doing a prototyping, you will have to write down, like first what was the product, how you defined it, how did you improvise it further, how did it go to the stage where you brought it to the market. When you brought it to, when I say market, let's say brought it to the partners, then how did you get it to the channels? You will have to note down all the steps. It's important, because an investor wants to know your story. Investor wants to know what efforts you have taken, because the efforts that you're taking is your experience, and when you're speaking for the investor, this helps. So you have to jot down all the steps that I have been sharing, and these are the steps that you will be entering into when you're creating your innovation. Now, why do I tell you? That's what I was telling you. You have to jot down. So this will help you tell your story to the venture. Okay, if whatever your venture is and the investor is listening, you're going to tell your story. You're going to tell how you started with it, what you thought. Now that tree, okay, then boy will say, I saw once there was a tree lying down and nobody was picking it up and all the traffic was jammed. So I thought I'll move ahead. So you can tell your story. All those who have attended my session last time, I had told the hero's journey. What is the hero doing? What is the solution the hero is getting to the customer? That's your story. It will help people imagine or envisage your venture. The prototyping is where your story is clear. People see where is your product going to go, where is it, what is the growth prospect of this product. They can see it because investors are people who have multiple businesses where they have invested into. So they will want to understand where is this product heading, where is your venture going to be. Then also, in the prototyping you will know how your venture is working, and that prototyping helps you. All these stages when you have gone through, it becomes a strong story base, a storyline that you can share. Branding. Now when you have this storyline, like the brand that you're preparing, the lotion brand, the soap brand, or the food brand, you have to give some branding to it, because any branding will require your storytelling and it has to be captivating. So because the story will provide context and the meaning, that the relationship that you are going to create with your customer. So any branding requires storytelling to be captivating. Stories provide context, meaning, and the opportunity for the relationship. Why would I take your product? Why? What is the value your product is bringing to my life? Why should I use it? Very important. And the branding, like we spoke about the face powder. So if the face powder is packed into a square container with a red branding on it, a sticker, somebody may not like it. It may come across very generic and I'm not liking the brand. But the moment it gets rebranded, repacked, the packaging will also be appealing for me. Maybe the product inside, you may give it a little more softer texture. You have understood that the customer is not feeling the inclination, then you change it. But that's the next step. But the primary step is you should know what branding you wish to create of your own product. So what should you do? Your name, the design, the symbol of your brand, very important. What are you going to call your brand? And when you say what you're going to call your brand, it has to be very clear, because the name, it's like here I cannot say like Shakespeare says, what's in the name. In a brand, it's not like that. There is a lots in the name. Your name has to be something which I will recollect. Your name should be something which should be very easy for me to understand what is the brand about, until my brand goes bigger. Okay, design. How do I want my brand to look? How do I want the packaging to look? And symbol. What is my logo? Which I want to make it unique, which will make me stand out distinct from the other sellers. Also, this is like, the brand is your own creation, it's your innovation. So it's a very personalized way of you telling the people that this is what I want to give you, this is how my brand is going to look, this is what my brand symbolizes, this is what I am trying to give you from. That's your story of your brand. How will you get, now comes to marketing, how do you get the world out there, the potential customer out there know about your product and service? Because the aim of marketing is to know and understand the customer so well that the product or service fits him and sells itself. Going back, the food product, the soap, the talcum powder, that is the face powder, or the lotion, the aim is that it reaches to the customer, and then the customer likes it so much, it feels like, oh, this is the best fit for me, that now I don't have to, no, my marketing is like, now I'm not selling, but the customer is buying me. So if I fit my product so well that the customer now knows that, okay, I want to pick up this product. Now let's say, ask yourself, if I am buying a product, ask yourself, when I say I is yourself, if I am buying a product, what is in that product that I'm buying? Ask yourself, if I'm buying a product, what is in that product that I'm buying? So let's say about me, if I have to share my own things, I buy clothes from Fab India. So why would I buy Fab India? Because I like comfortable cottons. So I'm going to Fab India. So I am buying a product for the comfort that the product is giving me, for the texture of the product that I get there, for the look and feel. The look and feel of the product, I will buy that product. Now, is Fab India coming and selling it to me now? No, it's become a brand which I go to. So when you're creating the brand, you have to have this thought. When I grow, my customer has to come to me. So what is in that brand? That authenticity that you want in a product, the same authenticity you should give to your customer. So when you're creating a marketing strategy, when you're creating marketing, you should know your branding, you should know your customer, you should know the solution you're giving to the customer, so that it fits them so well that they come asking for your product. That is a critical space you have to work on, because all this put together brings your pitching. Now the customer knows when you're pitching to someone, like, okay, this is my product, I'm looking for X amount of investment. By this time your product has been tested, okay, by your partners, by channels. Your product has reached the market, you have created your brand, logo is ready, the name is ready, you know how your brand is going to be packaged, you know what is the marketing strategy you have created. Because when you're pitching, if you say in any of your previous marketing strategies, okay, I'm just selling one, like, ek pe do, ek pe ek free बेच रहा हूँ. Why am I doing that? Because my investor will go back and research into how I have sold my product. So if I'm selling egg bake free because I want to get rid of my stock that point of time, and now today I know my stock has become big and I'm going for a pitching, history of my product will affect me, because the investor would have researched. So 90%, you know, if I am talking to the investor more than that, 90% of my work will be determined before I step on the platform. Because if the investor has researched on me before I go for pitching, my papers have gone there, research have happened. So my message has to be what I want to give out, what I want to give out. So previously I should be taking care of my product. Who am I making my product for? What is the intention of me making the product? What is the solution I'm getting to the people? Solution can be very, very simple solutions as well. We have discussed sanitary pads, we have discussed talcum powder, it can be just a band-aid. Any simple solution also is a solution. Even in styling, clothing, bringing style to people who are not getting a particular design or a fabric, and we are working on that, also is a solution. Solution is something that you feel there's a problem which you have experienced and you're trying to bring a solution. So your pitching will require all these areas, detailed thought in all these areas. Okay, because now it's the time that you pitch for the venture. How do you best present your brand and venture to gain support? How can you use power of your presentation to influence others? And all this can happen if you have been authentic in this whole journey of your brand creation. The problem solving till here, you have to be step by step, being very, very clear of where are you heading, what are you doing, why are you doing, who are the partners. If you saw the video, the small children who came to help were the initial partners. The little grown-ups, the young people who came were the later partners. And the elders which came, you can look at them as investors. That is how your brand will grow. So when you're doing your pitch, the more work you have put into it, the effort you have put into it, your story that you put across is what connects with the investor, which is where I said 90% of it is, it will be completely understood and determined even before you step on the platform to speak. Because everything, every story, every step will narrate its own journey. And this all these steps which I shared with you all, we will be sharing the PPT with sir. All these steps are your journey. You have to go step by step and achieve all these journeys, create documentation of it, create a storyline of it before you get into any investment with anyone. And incubation, these are stages of incubation as well. When you get an idea, you start researching on the market, you start working on your branding. All those are the spaces where you sit down and incubate on your thought, prototype it, and then bring it out. So those are step by step moving towards bringing your product out to the market. So I would here say there's a reflection, there are next steps, and there is thinking big. What are you creating? There's a reflection of the whole journey. Then you plan the next steps, and there is a big thinking. Your product is in the reflection stage. You're creating it, you will reflect, you will create, you will reflect, and you will start working around the strategies. Once you're ready with it, when it goes to the partners, when it goes to the channels, that's your next step. Once you are set with these two steps, thinking big is when you go towards the venture, taking it to the investors. So with this, thank you and best wishes. Now when we move to the next session, which will take it forward from here. Thank you so much.
Uh, or what?
Just,
So if you all
sorry.
maybe, I'm sure ma'am will be more than willing to answer any questions that students all having.
Yeah.
So you guys can
Please.
either raise your hand or send your question in the chat box.
At least after this session, one or two questions, Yasin, if possible. Anybody has questions?
Yeah, they can also ask.
Yeah.
Yes, students, any question?
Text me. So ma'am, Anushka is asking how much ownership do incubators normally have in any startup?
How much ownership do incubators have any startup? Okay,
Yes.
incubators will have ownership if they see genuinity in your product. If you are working with all the steps that I said, and the incubators will see, yes, because they give you space, they will tell you, okay, you can use my office, or they'll give you a space, but they will see your genuine effort with these stages. When you talk to them, when you present to them, then they will understand the growth and they will invest. They will take accountability and ownership there. It can be just giving you the space long time, just giving you their setup to use. They will give you spaces, but then that accountability and the structure they should be able to see.
Okay, ma'am. And then Neha is asking how one should handle fast growth and scale their business.
How one should
Handle fast growth and then scale their business.
Okay, who's asking this?
Snehal.
Snehal. Okay, Snehal, a fast growth. Now, this fast growth is where I said you cannot skip the stages which I said. The more you work, the more detailing you can do. Fast growth is completely dependent on you, how much research you have put into it. So dedicate research, working on it continuously is your pace. So fast cannot be defined here, because fast is completely on how much you wish to invest time and energy into it, how you're moving in the market. Scaling up, if you've achieved the steps, if you have reached to the partners and the channels, then scaling up, and you have your prototypes right, and you have your sampling right, and now you are bringing out your product correctly, and the customers response you have taken started taking, and then you have started building. Scaling up is easy. Like if you are into an incubator and somebody is supporting you and they see the growth, then it can scale up really fast. You have seen, like, generation today, your generation students are making business in 18 months time. 18 months time you can have a quite big business, but that big, the scalability also has to be defined distinctly. If you don't define it, then you would not know whether you've scaled or not. So defining every step which I shared is important. What is the revenue? What do you call scalability? It has to be clearly defined. Did I answer for Snehal?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, Snehal. Yeah, Yasin, any more questions?
I guess that's it, ma'am.
That's it? Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for all.
Yasin, your voice is breaking actually.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for addressing all our questions. It was a really informative session.
Thank
I'm
you.
sure
Thank
the
you,
value
Yasin.
you provided us as better.
Thank you, Yasin. Thank you, students.
Yes, thank you very much, ma'am.